Yeah, the wheel is broke, then why do we turn in? If it don't mean nothing,
Why are you playing that song again? What's going on over here, Dodsy? That's the Wasteland Kings, Coach. It's a local band, and they're bitching.
Your brother.
They are, man. And my fam, like half my family's in that band. But they're good, huh? They sound good. Use the mic. Hell yeah, it's good. Love it. With us, welcome back, Johnny Ballgame Show, Island City Speed Loop. Thanks again for hanging out with us. We've been excited for this interview since we booked it about a week or so ago. Coach Monica Plut, Coach P, is the new face of women's lacrosse here in Eastern Oregon as the head coach of a new program that will be established here. There's a few CCC schools, I believe, playing the sport already. It's bigger on the western side of the state than it is the eastern side of the state, but heck yeah, we're moving forward with this thing. This is what EOU does, and they're going to go after it with lacrosse, and we're excited about it. And Coach, just how did this process end up coming to fruition? Where were you with the sport of lacrosse, and you get in touch with Angie Weissenflew, and all of a sudden this gig opens? How did this whole thing happen?
I just saw it posted, and I've always built programs. I'm sure we'll get into that. And I just thought it was a great opportunity, and I've just always wanted to live in Oregon. So I jumped at the idea. I actually did my phone interview at the airport, leaving for a recruiting tournament.
Did you? Yeah. And so you're born in Georgia, but you claim kind of home, kind of suburban Toronto?
I was born in Canada, grew up in Georgia.
Okay.
Yep.
How was that?
It was a culture shock. They asked me if I lived in an igloo. And we said, yeah, and we had pet moose and, polar bears and the whole bit.
Yeah, drank Molson and played hockey and watched Strange Brew.
A bat's blue.
America's hat. Love Canada, man. So, okay, this is going to be kind of a tutorial for a lot of us because I know of lacrosse. I've watched it from afar. I've had friends who played it. When me and Dodsy were in high school, if you were playing lacrosse, it was for some type of a club. Mm-hmm. It wasn't affiliated with many high schools at the time.
The rich kids played it, too.
Yeah, it was kind of a country club, rich sport. Certainly back east. It was huge in Virginia. We knew that scandal that ended up being such a raw deal at Duke with the lacrosse team where they were falsely accused. But anyway, yeah. That was lacrosse to me type of thing. Tell us about your passion, your experiences, how you grew to have lacrosse be such a central piece of your life.
So I started playing when I was 9 years old. I was on the first East Cobb lacrosse team. My older sister went and played it so that she could stay in shape in the off season of cross country and track. And I tried it and just fell in love with it. I was playing every other sport and dropped them all to play lacrosse.
Just fell in love with it.
I did.
What were some of the intricacies of lacrosse that made you say, okay, this is the sport for me, and I'm going to go ahead and just fall in love with this thing?
I grew up playing soccer, and I just do not have foot-eye coordination very well. So when I played lacrosse, I had really good hand-eye coordination, and it just kind of felt natural to me. Like the second time a ball was through at me, I caught it, which it doesn't happen very often.
What do they call the lacrosse stick?
Lacrosse stick?
A lacrosse stick.
Or a cross if you're being proper. But
now, I know when you're running with the ball in the net, is it a cradle?
Yes. Yep.
Dodsy.
Look at you.
Whoa.
You want to be an assistant?
Wow.
Cradle it.
You got to spin it too, right? Like to keep it from falling out. I see.
Yeah, so it's you hear the ball, see the ball, hear the ball, see the ball. Boys do it down here, and we'll talk about that. The games are so different; they're completely.
That was
rules
on our list. He was bringing that up earlier. Said women's lacrosse and men's lacrosse have a lot of different rules.
Yes.
Can you explain how is the women's game so much different than the men's game?
So men's, it's like brunt force. You have helmets, pads. You can hit, you can cross check. I don't even know all the rules. And then women's lacrosse, we wear goggles, a mouth guard, and that's it.
You guys
is
don't
the ball
hit, though?
less hard?
The ball's the same, just different colors. I don't know why. So you can check the stick, but it's got to be like a check mark. Like if you come down, you got to come right back up. So if it's a big slash, that's a penalty. There's a lot of penalties. You can definitely force people out, but you can't push.
What type of athletes typically make good lacrosse players? You need height, you need speed, you need strength.
See, that's what's great about lacrosse. Anybody. There's a spot for anybody on the field. You know, I've had a goalie who was 5'2" and she did great. Like, it didn't matter. Definitely your tall girls, you want to stick in midfield so that
you'd like them to be taller. Right?
Yeah, so that they can just get it out of the air at the draw. It's kind of like a jump ball, but it happens after every goal. But I don't know, usually the stronger girls on defense, but they can really play anywhere.
The field, 100, is it like football, soccer field? Is it a little bigger or is it just exactly football?
Football, yep.
100 yards.
Okay, that makes it easy.
Yep.
120 yards, counting the end zones and the same width. And now I've seen in lacrosse where the goal is, you can go behind the goal a lot. You have a lot more real estate behind the goal than you do in, say, hockey.
Yes.
So what's that like? Some strategy you can attack from several different positions?
Absolutely. And usually the ball starts at X, which is behind the goal. And, I mean, it just depends what your coaching philosophy is. But definitely using that, you've got that, you know?
Is there Dudsy, what was I going to ask? Is there like a penalty box? How do the penalties
like
work?
hockey?
How are you penalized? Like, oh, that's a foul. Well, what happens to me? I just committed a foul. Do I have to sit out? Do you take points off the board? What happens?
It
Coach?
depends on the severity of the foul. If it's a yellow card, like a slash or a dangerous propel, which is when if someone is in front of you, you cannot shoot. I know, it's weird.
So you don't want to get basically that rules so people don't get hit with the stick.
Yes, so all the rules are around safety.
Yeah.
So if you're the goal, the camera is my defender, and if I shoot, that's a penalty. So I would be out for 2 minutes.
Oh,
that's a yellow card. That's a yellow card. But little things like you can't hold their stick down. That's called a held cross. If you do that,
what's the penalty?
The other team gets the ball and you just start going. Now that rule changed.
It's like a turnover. Okay.
Yes, that rule changed in the past. I want to say 2 years. High school's just adding it this year. But it used to be anytime there was a penalty, you had to stop. It was like freeze tag. But now they got rid of that unless it happens right in front of the goal. So it's really sped up the game a lot more and made it even more fun.
Yeah, I got a text message coming in saying, is lacrosse a sport that was created by Native Americans? I've heard a little bit of that before too. Dodsy, have you?
Yeah, I have, but I don't know.
Is that more mythology or was it true kind of the foundation of the sport was played by Native Americans in this country?
It was. That's how it happened. North, New York and Ontario is where it started with the Iroquois Nation. And they did that instead of war. So they'd play, tribe versus tribe.
I wish we had those policies now.
Right?
Yeah.
Tribe versus tribe. So maybe 500 people on each team. They'd play across 5 miles. There were no boundaries.
5 miles?
Yeah.
And they should make a movie on that. You'll thank me later, but yeah, whatever. I just have ideas. Just sweating out here, Coach P. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's called the Creator's Game. So it's really like they thank the creator for allowing them to play the game. Like there's a lot of history behind it that a lot of other sports don't have.
Yep.
So
makes a lot of sense.
1637.
That was around the year.
Yeah, that's when they started playing cross.
Hey, Dodsy.
Well, that's when the French, saw it.
Yeah.
That's when they
and
made
they
it.
jacked it?
Yeah, of course.
They called it like some weird Le Jeu de la Crosse.
Damn you come on.
Le Jeu de la Crosse.
Not only have to bail them out of wars, we have to help them with, they steal our lacrosse, Dodsy. We're just kidding. We don't do politics, but hey, I bet I can get her on a lacrosse question here, Dodsy.
Right,
I bet I can, yeah.
Get her.
Who is just widely known as the greatest lacrosse player of all time?
Paul Rabel.
That wasn't who I was thinking.
Who were you thinking?
Jim Brown.
I don't know.
The great Jim Brown.
I got to be honest, I don't follow a lot of professional lacrosse.
Jim Brown was a football player.
In like the
Played
60s.
too.
And he also played lacrosse at Syracuse.
That doesn't mean he's the greatest ever, though.
Well, he's in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. No, you're right. He's widely known as the greatest ever. What was the name I said?
Jim Brown.
Yeah, remember that name.
I'll
and
research
look him up.
him. Yeah.
You research him. Look him up. Your guy is who?
Paul Rabel. He started the Premier Lacrosse League. He started his own league.
That's awesome. Is that what they call it? What the MLL, Major League Lacrosse?
That's a separate one. So he started his own.
Okay, so there's a couple lacrosse leagues right now. We were talking off, I think it was during the show. I can't remember. We talked way too much, whether the cameras are on or not. But we were saying like least positions in pro sports that we'd want to have to do. And lacrosse goalie was up there for me because it doesn't look like you get to wear a bunch of gear. Okay, and like if I had to put what gear I can wear on there, and I have to get the big stick, and I'm standing there in goal, and I have these dudes who are big and fast, and they can make that. Lacrosse balls are hard. It's not like hard like a baseball. It's like rubber, but it's a hard rubber.
Yes.
Like I would not want to take one of those off the thigh, Dodsy.
No.
It'll give you a strawberry for a
They probably wear thigh pads. I would imagine.
but
Yes, they do. Yep.
they do.
Yeah,
I couldn't. I mean, I would almost rather be a hockey goalie simply because I get more gear and I can kind of hide out a little bit.
Well, see, you can wear gear. I said it to my goalie last year. Like, why don't you wear because they can wear shin guards. She's like, oh no, college goalies don't do that. I'm like, well, why? Like, if it could protect you, that's just like
I'd be like
thing.
a catcher saying, I'm not going to wear shin guards because I'm that good.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, there ain't nobody that good.
Wow. Well, yeah. So are you? A lot of goalies don't wear a lot of padding, huh?
No.
Interesting.
But they kind of like it. It's their battle wounds, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Like I was warming up my goalie last year, and I gave her a giant bruise right there, and I was like, I'm really sorry. She's like, no, it's a good one. I was like,
it's a
okay.
good bruise. Like they show. I respect that. That's cool, man. And baseball's different with the catcher. A catcher could be like, hey, I'm not wearing knee pads, coach.
I would hope not.
Those balls are harder, and they're coming at faster.
Uh-huh.
And they get foul tipped.
Yeah, that's even worse. Coach P, where were you coaching last year? How'd you get this gig?
I was coaching at Adams State, a small Division II in Southern Colorado.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Lacrosse program. Colorado's kind of, nose in the air. We're really cool. We're Colorado. Of course they would have lacrosse.
Hipsters.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I love it. Is this town gonna? I mean, what about lacrosse? You think is gonna hit home in this community and get people buzzing and get young student athletes, young girls excited to turn out and play and get some club action going? I mean, are you excited to blaze this trail?
Absolutely. I just actually came from our first PE segment at Elgin Middle School, and the kids had a blast. It was the first time they ever played lacrosse, and I asked them, who knows what lacrosse was? A bunch of them raised their hands. I guess Team Wolf and Mean Girls has lacrosse. So
it is in Mean Girls.
yeah,
huh?
but that's the wrong. She
Team
complete
Wolf?
body check somebody,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that's not correct.
That's what I was
lacrosse,
excited
but-
about, actually.
That's not women's lacrosse, at least. But the kids had a blast, and I'll be going there for 4 weeks. I start at the high school next week, and then I really want to hit every single school in
That's the key.
valley.
You got to get the young girls, young women in this valley
Yep.
interested in the sport and want to play.
Yeah,
And-
especially in a town like LeGrand. This is a blue-collar town. Like, there's probably, dudes that work at Boise Cascade that are like, man, lacrosse, nah, I'm not, nah.
And we got to
Yeah, we got to change that.
We got to change that.
Absolutely.
And we got to get people saying, "Oh, lacrosse! Oh, that's cool."
Well, even the guys. Maybe we'll get a guys team one
Right?
day. Yeah.
Is this going to be a spring or winter or fall sport?
Spring.
It's got to be
So
spring.
it's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be in spring.
Yep.
That's going to be cool. So a year from now, you guys will be playing games.
Yeah. Everyone's got to come out.
That's sweet. You signed your first player from the Boise area.
I did.
Now, how prevalent is lacrosse in the Treasure Valley?
It's actually very, very. There's a lot of teams, and they're good.
So that's kind of right now. That's that's your backyard, so
yeah.
to speak, with recruiting. Seattle area,
Yeah.
Portland area.
Yep.
Are they is it-
Tri-Cities. Yep. All
okay.
of that.
So you're starting to get. She's learning her geography here. Bless her heart, man. She's
got
from Canada. She's from Georgia. She's been coaching in Colorado. She's got a machete and she's in the woods, Dodsy, in the forest. She's got to cut all these things down and pave her way. I got a lot of respect for Coach P.
Thank you.
Girl, you got dude.
You got your job cut out for you.
Yeah, you do. You have your work cut out for you on this, and I'm sure you're very excited and ready, willing to accept this challenge.
Definitely.
It's going to be awesome. And when you win that first Cascade Conference Championship or whatever league you're playing in, you're going to say, hell yeah, man. I came out here and I built this thing from from nada, from nothing.
Yep.
Built this program with my bare hands over here. What's a Coach P program going to look like? What are certain things that you have to make darn sure, win or lose, we're going to be conditioned. Win or lose, we're going to have a good GPA. Like, what are the foundations of this program?
Definitely, they're student athletes, so students first. So I would love a team GPA of 3.0. They're definitely going to be conditioned. Lacrosse is a lot of running, especially for that midfield. We're a family. Team culture is very important to me. I'm also getting my master's in sports psychology. So kind of the mental toughness, the resilience, making sure our heads are in the right spot.
What impressed you about Angie Weissenflew and EOU?
Everything.
Really, just
Angie,
she blew you away with the interview?
She really did. Like, a strong female coach, athletic director. Like, what better mentor could I have to make sure that I'm doing all the right things to be successful?
She is EOU.
Yeah.
And you'll learn this, but there was a time where Angie was the softball and girls basketball coach.
Amazing.
And then
She played there too.
Yeah, and she played there, and now she's the AD in women's basketball coach, one of the great women's basketball coaches at the NAIA level.
Right.
She has over 400 wins. Even this year, when people were like, oh, the roster is not as talented as it was in the past, they finished second in the league.
Right.
Unlike what people thought was going to be a down year. They'll probably have an at-large bid to the tournament where they go every single year. She runs the athletic department. You've probably done your research on this.
Oh, yeah.
EOU is good in more sports than they aren't.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Got a cool community. I mean, what about this community you think fits Coach P, your lifestyle and your kind of family goals and philosophies?
I mean, just the nature aspect. And EOU does a great job at, capitalizing on that with their adventure programs and stuff. But I see mountains in every direction. I love hiking. Like, let's get out there. Let's explore. And the community is so nice. I mean, I was at the grocery store and this lady saw us buying all this stuff when I first moved here, and she's like, "Oh, did you just move here?" And she was so nice, and she introduced herself.
Had to do that move, like where you're buying salt shakers, a spatula,
just random stuff. Yeah,
dude, you should go to the dollar store for a lot of that stuff.
Oh, I do.
Too.
I love the dollar store.
I've moved more than just about anybody I know in adulthood. There was like a time where I moved like 8 straight years. I had a different residence. Sometimes I was living in the same town, but I moved and get kicked out or whatever the heck. A girl leaves me, I gotta bail, whatever the case is, Coach B. But you always go to that dollar store,
Right. Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
What
are they paying you to say that?
Good point.
They should.
I'm supposed to tell people to go to Island City Speed Lube right now and get their stinking oil changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Brock and the crew, Island
work.
City Speed Lube, love those guys out by the C&M Country Store, and I know Coach P. When next time you need your oil changed,
I do
Good
actually.
place to go.
Island City Speed Lube.
Okay. I got it.
It'll be super quick service, and if you wouldn't mind, hey, Johnny Ballgame Show, thanks for what you guys do. They're sponsoring this segment right
Great.
now.
Awesome.
So they're big lacrosse fans, so they're hoping that every time you get your oil change here in the Grand, for the rest of the time you're here, you're going there.
Oh, I will. That's great.
You're such a sucker, dude.
I'm kidding, man. We have a lot of kicks and giggles.
Do you guys
on this
already
show.
have all the gear?
Yeah, how'd
up
that
there?
work out? You get to pick new gear like the Mighty Ducks or something?
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Remember that movie? That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
movie
yeah,
they run
wait.
in. They get to get all their gear. And
Oh yeah, and I've been looking.
Do you already have some gear up there?
No.
There's nothing.
Nope.
I was gonna say because we come up there and shoot a segment for the show, like play some lacrosse.
Like a tutorial?
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got some sticks. We need to get goals. I have balls.
Were you a
but
pretty good player, Coach P?
I was all right.
These people, I held my own. How many? There can't be a mega staff budget here. Maybe you're looking for interns or help whenever for your staff. What's that going to look like? Is it going to be you and the kids? Do you get an assistant? What's that look like, Coach?
I would love an assistant if anyone's listening and wants
Yeah.
to.
Is it a paid job?
It
or
is. It is. It's not a whole bunch, but I'm going to fundraise so that we can have more. But I would love someone with a goalie mind. Lacrosse goalie is a special animal. You have to step to the ball, and it's hard to teach people to do that.
Like you attack.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Interesting.
And
So-
you were saying that you had a 5'2" goalie. I was thinking, like, wouldn't you want a bigger bodied person because that's less goal that you have
Yes,
to guard?
but she was a badass, honestly.
I like it.
Okay.
Yes.
She was awesome, and she was quick, and I don't know, she was really good. So it didn't
normally,
matter.
though, you would have, like, a big, like, space taker for a goal.
Yeah.
Ideally, okay. What's the perfect type of size, shape for a lacrosse goalie? Could you give us like a famous person that we could relate to? Like, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
okay. Rosie O'Donnell.
I mean,
or
sure, but
Jennifer
then
Lopez.
it's got to be someone with quick feet, though.
So you got to have quick
You
feet.
gotta have those
You got to
quick
be like
feet.
Dodsey. Dodsey's a big guy, but he kind of runs like Babe Ruth. You know, he kind of has these
Perfect.
little,
Wow.
his little twinkle feet. You know, like he has these little
Oh,
legs and these
come
little.
on, man.
He has like debutante ankles.
I do.
Yeah, he
I
does
do
have
have
these little
skinny dude
ankles, and he's got this
Yeah.
big body. Like Dodsey, probably would have been a good lacrosse goalie.
Yeah, there you
never,
go.
Never got a stick put in my hand.
Yeah. I mean,
Too much running for
this
me.
wasn't lacrosse wasn't huge here, but I know it's getting bigger, and it's kind of cool with the. I mean, it's only going to continue to grow. Now, how many teams? What do you know? What your conference is going to be like? Are you in the CCC?
Not yet. So Corbin has a team. I met their coach. She's really nice. And that's it. So there's a couple other teams that are thinking about adding it.
C of I, get a damn lacrosse team.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
they have
you-
a men's team.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That College of Idaho has a men's lacrosse team.
Yeah.
I bet the guys are a bunch of
Jerks.
tough guys too.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But look, I'm just playing into the stereotypes.
I wasn't kidding.
What, lacrosse
I
guys
saw
are
the way
jerks?
their football players act.
Dodsey.
Nah, it's true.
Dodsey was mad because some C of I football players who were at the game, the basketball game, they were kind of giving it to some EOU kids.
It
and
was more than
inappropriate.
giving it. Yeah, it was more than
It was
that.
Well,
inappropriate.
sportsmanship, guys. Come
Right.
on.
Yeah. So let's get more schools playing. So basically, that's going to be another hurdle is scheduling.
Yes. So we're gonna try, club teams, Division III, whatever we can find really for the first year to play against and kind of get our feet wet there.
Uh-huh.
And then hopefully year 2, year 3, we'll have the conference.
And we get the CCC legit going with women's lacrosse, and this is going to be fun. Now, what are you doing on the day-to-day, Coach P?
I'm recruiting my butt off.
Are you really?
And I already made contacts up here. I'm also a U.S. Lacrosse Level 1, Level 2 coaching trainer. So I teach coaches how to coach. And through that, I've met a lot of great trainers, and the U.S. Lacrosse Regional, Lynn Porterfield out in Seattle. And they've really helped me, connect with coaches here in the area. Sydney, the first girl that signed, I know her coach. He's also a trainer buddy of mine, Tom Welsh. So that really helps.
Develop those pipelines,
Oh,
Coach,
for sure.
as you
Yeah.
know. I mean, you get in with the high school coaches. If kids are hoping to stay in the Northwest region,
Right.
go to a great school and a wonderful community and still get to play lacrosse.
Absolutely.
Coach, you have a lot to offer that the other schools in this region just don't.
Right.
They don't have the team. They don't have the commitment, and EOU does, and they're moving forward with this sport. And,
Absolutely.
And they've put it all in your hands, Coach.
Yeah, you've probably met the equipment manager, Mike Alvarez.
He's great.
He's watching right now, and I'm going to tell you this
Hi,
right now.
Mike.
That's a good dude to have on your team right there.
He did his research during my interview.
good dude
He
to
said
have
he
on
did
your
his
team.
research. And
Alvarez did.
yeah, and he was like, asking me questions about it. I was like, hey, good for you. You
Good
know,
dude to have on
you
your
can hold
side.
a
He's a friend of
conversation.
the show.
Yeah.
Good.
And just don't win the Alvarez Awards, okay? There's an Alvarez Award at the end of the year for the messiest locker room. You don't want to win an
You
Alvarez.
don't want that.
You
No.
don't want it. So make sure when you get this thing going, you tell your girls, you tell your student athletes, hey, we don't want to win the Alvarez Award.
Okay.
It's not a good thing.
Will do.
So keep that locker room as tidy as you can. And we know who the current Alvarez Award winner is. We can't say it on the air, though. We know what program it is. We might tell you off the air. They
All
don't
right.
really
Yeah.
care about it. But,
Yeah.
Alvarez, he's watching right now, Dodsey. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
good dude, the equipment manager. And Alvarez is going to have to learn about all new sets of equipment, huh?
Oh, yeah. And lining the field and all that good stuff. And there's a
said
lot
he
of lines
loves
for
it.
girls
There's a lot of
lacrosse.
different lines for lacrosse. Mm-hmm. Are all scores worth 1 point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Good
What's
question.
an average score?
Oh, it depends. I've seen
The best team in the country is going to average how many points a game?
I mean, last year I saw a Division II team beat a team by 52, which I'm not anyway. That's a little much.
You thought that was running up the score.
That was ridiculous.
That's lacrosse
52
arrogance
times.
showing its ugly self.
And there's 60 minutes in a game, and they scored 52 times against a Division III school.
And that's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, those poor guys. Those poor guys.
So it was a men's lacrosse.
It was.
That's why lacrosse has a bad rep sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, these
I know.
yahoos out there running up the score and then going and hugging and hand pounding each other at the country club and, just having fun.
But I don't know. On average, it's probably around 20.
So it's an exciting sport.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of scoring, passing.
Yep.
Yeah. Dodzy, I'm ready for this. Now, you have just one commit so far, or have we added to that a little bit?
Oh, no. I have 3, and another girl is signing probably as we speak.
So we're building this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you keep in touch with us. We want to keep having you on the show. Well, we'd like
That'd
to
be
go
great.
up to EOU. Maybe you can do a tutorial once you get some gear and
Yeah.
stuff set up. What a fun opportunity for you. You know, you're not
Absolutely.
taking over a program that has all these championships that have dust on them. You're not taking over a program that has nothing, that has stunk, and nobody cares about it. I mean, you're taking over a program where there's nothing. You're an expansion team. You get to build things your own way and hopefully become at one point you can be the legendary central figure of EOU lacrosse, hopefully for the next 100 years.
That'd be awesome.
Hopefully you keep this gig. I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but I know she looks young.
I'm
Dodsy.
almost 30.
She's way younger
great.
than us.
Yeah, right?
She makes us look old.
So she's in her late 20s, and if she keeps this gig for 30 years, okay, she's still not even going to be 60 yet. And 30 years championships and All-Americans and all this, and pretty soon it's the Coach P Lacrosse Center or whatever. I mean,
I love
it's
it.
all in front of you.
It's awesome. We're making history.
We are. It's going to be a lot of
Do
fun,
it.
and hopefully you bring the Johnny Ballgame Show with you.
Of course.
You know, we're doing this.
I'll get
and,
you a T-shirt.
Once the gear comes out.
You'll have to sew 2 together for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll figure it
He's a
out.
big shirt, but we'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
get you a women's lacrosse T-shirt.
Absolutely.
Dodzy.
Rock it. You know that.
100%. And if you get
no
hats
doubt.
too, we'll throw those on.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be friends of the program for sure. We're excited about this, and he's a former college baseball player.
Nice.
And he's pumped that baseball's coming back.
I'm sure. Yeah.
the whole community is, and this is a big baseball town.
Right.
So and
Do the
For
same
now.
thing for lacrosse.
yeah,
For
right?
now.
right? Yeah. And you kind of get to come, if there wasn't a baseball program coming back, I don't know if they take on women's lacrosse.
Probably not.
I don't know if they do. So it's kind of cool for both of you guys,
for
and
sure.
to be able to come and enter in the athletic scene and men's and women's sports. And like you said, maybe one day, who knows? Maybe they want to do men's lacrosse or whatever. But for now, let's kick butt in the women's lacrosse division and let's win national championships and stuff, Coach P.
That's the goal.
Yeah, you already got 2 fans for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Yay.
This has
thanks,
been fun. We
guys.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Island City Speed Lube. You get your oil change there. Go see Brock and the team right next to the C&M Country Store out in Island City Speed Lube. Coach Monica Plut, Coach P, if you see her around, tell her you saw her on the show and wish her the best with women's lacrosse making its way to Eastern Oregon University starting next year. But you're recruiting, you're out and about, and hey, anybody that knows something about lacrosse goalie keeping, hey, find her on the EOU website, shoot her an email and all that good stuff, and can't wait to get this thing going, Coach.
It's going to be awesome.
Johnny Ballgame Show.